I've always wanted to be a fashion designer. I mean, look at me, absolutely slaying it. But then I grew up and decided to study business and work in the corporate world. Honestly, I don't know why I feel myself crying so much. Let's make 5-year-old really proud and become a fashion designer. So what's better than regular fashion? VR fashion. Today, we're gonna design VR clothing. Have I ever done this before? No, but I have been learning 3D for the past 4 months, so there's like a 60-40 chance I can actually pull this off. All my 3D knowledge is in Blender, but I'm gonna have to learn how to use Cloud 3D and Adobe Substance to actually be able to make VR clothing. I mean, like I could use Blender, but my GPU is not powerful enough for all the seams to like come together, so it's very hard to do. So here's the game plan for today. I need to learn how to use Cloud 3D and Adobe Substance so I can make the clothing. I also need to make a sketch of the types of clothes that I want to make. I want to make 2 outfits. We'll see if I can pull that off. And then I want to make the designs and render the animation so we actually have some VR fashion to work with. So that's the game plan. Now I need to go learn 2 new pieces of software. Let's go. So here I am, my first jump into Cloud 3D, and I'm just making some like basic pants so that I can actually understand how everything works, and then I will do the draft of like what I'm actually wanting to design. So this was a solid 2 hours of my life, so let's just jump to when I actually make something. So this is what I made. I have this cool tracksuit that I think's really cute, and then I have this top that I didn't exactly sew together very well because I spent a long time doing this, but I kind of got the basics down of how I should be making them and how to sew them, and it's a lot easier than doing it in Blender. So I think now I'm going to try to work out a few more techniques and then I'll show you the sketch. Alright, let me show you the sketch so we can actually make VR fashion. The first one I have is this one. I'm really wanting to do like a puffy sleeve or like a puffy jacket moment, and I'm also wanting to do a tracksuit because I already did like pants and I think it'll be easier to do. Yeah, I don't know how much detail I can actually add with no experience in doing this before, but this is outfit 1. Outfit 2 is a little bit different. Also, don't know if I can do this. So it is like a mossy dress underneath with puffy sleeves, and then on top is like another dress that's made out of like raincoat material. If that makes any sense. I like it. That's the vibe. Still don't know if I can do it. So yeah, that's kind of the idea. Now I'm just gonna go spend the next, I don't know, 30 hours making these 2 outfits. I really hope you enjoy. So first I went in to make the pants. I'm wanting some type of cozy oversized pants for this outfit. As you can see, I started out with a square and then boom, here's pants. Then I went in to do the elastic band at the top and the feet to pull in the outfit so it doesn't slide off his body. You will see why this is important later. And this is what they were looking like. I was trying to go in and add in my like squiggles, but then decided that I will add them in Adobe Substance later. Yeah, just pulled in the waistband and then just made everything a little bit more oversized. I went in to make the top out of a rectangle and then gave it a different fabric type.
I don't know if that means anything to you, but it didn't mean anything to me when I was making this, but it does now.
I just made the top like a simple vest because then I could add whatever I wanted to it, but I decided to not do sleeves, and as you can see, like my camera is really weird, and that's because my Magic Mouse did not like this program and I had to reprogram it. But if you're wondering why the camera is looking very strange, that's why. But anyway, top's looking really great. Went in and then also decided to do the jacket. Very excited about the jacket because this is my first time layering clothing. This is my first time seeing what it looks like, and it was all very exciting. It came together very quickly, and I feel like if I didn't have my Blender knowledge, this would have taken me a lot longer to do. But at this point I'm about an hour and a half in and I'm pretty impressed. I decided to add in a little band at the bottom of the vest shirt just so that there was just a little more going on, you know, like there was something happening to that piece of clothing. It wasn't just hanging from my model. Went in and added the sleeves to the jacket and they look so good. And yeah, they look so good. I'm really impressed with how they looked, how they turned out, how I did them. This is a lot easier than actually sewing clothes in real life, I would say. And then I felt like the outfit was done. Don't worry, the colors are going to change once I pull it over to Adobe Substance. But then I went in to do the UV mapping, and because I'd broken up the jacket so much, it took me so long to like separate it, but I had to separate it because that's what I was told to do. So this is my first time rendering him, and he took so long to do. I mean like 10 minutes the first time, but there is a first time because look at his clothes. He just keeps taking them off. I did change the properties of the clothing. I think I chose like a more dense cotton so he wasn't just gonna sway them off his body. But look, he doesn't want to wear that shirt, and then the pants start to fall off as well, and then they start clipping as he's like walking. It was just, I was so confused about what was happening at this point. So this is my second time rendering it, and as you can see, he just chucks the shirt off. He doesn't even care, you know, like it just gone. All right, this is the fourth time, and let me tell you, it took so long to render this one. It was like 25 minutes for this render. My poor computer was making the craziest noises. But look at him. He's not taking his clothes off now. I definitely think I fixed the fabric issue. I think they were too light, and I think the pants were too baggy. That's why they were clipping. But he's walking now. He's not taking his clothes off, and that's what we need. So let's now jump over to Adobe. Welcome to Adobe Substance. Honestly, when I pulled the outfit over here, I thought, wow. That is a showstopper. I am so impressed with that. So here I am just baking it, putting it in the oven, and giving it everything it needs. Then I went in and just dropped everything on my outfits. Like every single texture I could ever drop on, I did. And then I was confused what was happening because this is my first time in Adobe Substance, and I didn't know that I was actually just stacking up layers of different textures. So once I worked that out, I realized, wow, okay. So I had a lot of fun doing all of this, but once I was kind of done with this, I realized that I then had to render it, and I actually had to learn a third software, which is Cinema 4D, which I don't pay a subscription for. So I kind of died inside a little bit, but let's just look at this guy. Look how good he's looking. So we have a problem. The tutorial I was following said to download Cinema 4D and use that as the 3D software for animating it and rendering the animation. But I use Blender, which is completely, it's the same, but it's different than Cinema 4D. Like I've never used Cinema 4D. So as soon as I jumped into Cinema 4D, I just didn't know how to do anything. It was very overwhelming. I've already learned how to use Clo 3D and 3D Substance Painter this week. So it's just like a little bit too much to also do Cinema 4D. But we're gonna go rogue. We're gonna jump into Blender. And what I'm gonna do is try and bring in the OBJ files and the ABC file, and then match up the textures and then render the animation. Every time I try to Google this, I must not be Googling the right thing because I can't find an answer for how to do it, but I'm gonna try my best and we'll see how we go. So first step, uninstall Cinema 4D. Second step, let's jump straight into Blender. So here we are in Blender, my favorite place to be, a familiar territory. So here I am just applying the textures in the shader editor, and then they magically turn up on my little mannequin. I was really amazed by how it did it, and I was impressed that I managed to do it so quickly. So here I am just making kind of the background and then adding in some more textures around, giving them a little bit of a backdrop as well. And I really liked these kind of like half circly pebble looking little dots as well. So I played with them, and yeah, now I'm just kind of giving him a background so he's not just floating in thin air. So now I'm into making outfit 2, which I'm very excited about. I'm now a little bit of familiar territory in Clo 3D because we just did outfit 1. My favorite thing is when I like sew it all together and it just like warps onto the mannequin. Like it looks so good. So I'm giving this guy a nice cute dress, and yeah, I'm wanting to like layer the clothing. So I'm wanting like a dress underneath and a dress on top. As I do this process though and bring in the second like dress, I just find there are so many clipping issues, and I like really try to get this to work, and then I try to render it and it just keeps breaking, and I'm just having the worst time with this outfit. So outfit 2 is trash. I'm really sorry to come in and tell you that, but there is a bright side. So basically the issue with outfit 2 is I decided to layer 2 dresses on top of each other. So when the mannequin was walking, everything was clipping and it wasn't working, and then it was just so difficult to do. So first I'm doing VR fashion and it was just too hard for me. So I decided to scrap it, and now we have an outfit 3 because I couldn't just leave this video with one outfit. So outfit 3 is a puffy dress, kind of like cottagecore vibes, and it's a dress that I'm very familiar with because I have a pattern for this type of dress. So I understand where all the seams are and how it should come together. So it makes a little bit more sense in my brain. So let's start designing outfit 3. So here I am going in to make outfit 3, and I'm quite excited about this because I'm familiar with this pattern and I know where the seams should be. So I'm having a lot of fun making it and then just warping it onto my mannequin. I love that process. It looks so cool. So I go around and fiddle around. I give him some little sleeves because I want to do some really big puffy sleeves. And then I just duplicate it for the other side. This is coming together a lot faster than the other one and I'm really liking how this dress is looking. And then I just kind of gather the bottom of the sleeve so that it makes it a little bit more puffy. Something I found when doing this is I can strengthen the fabric. I don't know if I'm doing this wrong, but I decided to strengthen all the fabric so it wasn't so floppy when I animated it the first time. Went in and did lining as well so that the material would be a little bit stronger, and here I'm just putting it in the UV map. And here it's animated. This is the first time I animated it as well, and it looks really good. That shoulder does slide off, but I thought it looked kind of cute, you know, like I liked it. Very runway-esque. So now it's time to texturize this dress in Adobe Substance, and I really enjoyed this process. So I wanted like a gold look to the corset part of the dress and then kind of a leather rough look to the rest of the dress. I just really like this like blue and gold theme here. Then I went in to make my scene in Blender and match up all those textures in the shader editor, and this time I actually got the movement going of the mannequin and I was very impressed. So what I did was just selected the vertices and then press L to link them up, and it would link up that section, and then I would apply the texture to that section, if that makes sense. I feel like it's not the best way to do it, but it's the way that worked for me. Then I went in to make the scene. I wanted kind of a desert feel to the ground, and then I also wanted to create some bubbles around just to add like a little bit more dimension to the scene. So here I am just making the bubbles in the shading editor and doing the lighting, and honestly then I go and place the bubbles around. Honestly, what a journey we've been on making these VR clothing. I've animated both of them for you now, so let me show you what the first outfit looks like animated. Wow! I'm really quite impressed with this one. This was definitely my first like VR clothing that I did, making the pattern in Flow 3D and then doing the textures in Adobe Substance and then also doing the Blender stuff. Like all of it, I'm just amazed by it. I'm really impressed with it. I think it's really good for my first time, and I'm definitely excited to do this type of thing in the future. So now let me show you what the second/third outfit look like, because we axed the second outfit, so just the third outfit. Okay, let me show you what it looks like. Wow! I am amazed. So I got the movement of like the person walking. I couldn't bring the person in. When I did that, the person was like I don't even know how to explain, like the skin was inside out and it was like absolutely terrifying to look at. So I couldn't bring in the model, and I don't know why it came through like that. So it's just walking with no mannequin, but I think it looks really good. I think doing it in Blender was a lot easier than doing it in Cinema 4D, and I'm really happy I made the switch because it was just too much for my brain to handle. I really enjoyed going on this journey this week into doing VR fashion, and I know 5-year-old Brittany would be very, very impressed with the outcome we have today. I've definitely loved creating these outfits. Let me know if there are any other fun, funky VR outfits you want me to create. I definitely have a few ideas for some videos in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will now see you in the next video.